What's up, you sons of guns? I would use a different word for sons of blank, but I probably should be a little cleaner, I guess, on these podcasts. I've realized, listening back Jesus, lately, that I cuss, I feel like, excessively. I feel like I'm one of those kids. You guys ever heard, like, little kids cuss? You ever go to, like, I don't know, maybe you're talking to, like, your nieces and nephews, or you're talking to some, like, random little kid at, like, the park or whatever whose parents aren't around, and they just, like, they're cussing a shit ton. And obviously, yeah, I know I just said shit, but still, I'm trying to get a point across. So, like, you'll talk to a child, and it's usually like little kids, and like they don't know how to cuss. Damn, I'm on a run. We're already going. Welcome back to the Probably Bullshit Pod. I'll get back to that. What's up, you sons of bitches? We're in. Welcome back to the Probably Bullshit Pod. Happy New Year. We're going 2026 officially in year two of the pod. Not really, but calendar year two. We're in this. We're going. New year, new me. If you thought you knew anything about your host, you didn't know shit. Anyways, so yeah, you ever be around like some little kids that are cussing and they don't know how to cuss? It's always the funniest, randomest thing when they're like, fucking asshole bitch Jasmine shit was at the park and bitch shit said that I couldn't have chocolate because it was too fucking ass close to dinner. And it's like, bro, come on, stop. Like you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's what I mean. That's how I feel like I've sounded lately on some of these podcasts as I listen back to them, and I don't realize it as I'm talking to people. Again, sorry for my language, Grandma, if you're listening. Sorry for my language, but I'm trying to get a point across, and that's how I feel like I've been sounding lately. Whenever I listen to these podcasts, like the way I curse, God forbid me, God forgive me. So But yeah, welcome back to the Probably Bullshit Pod. Again, new year, new me. We're up to it. If you're listening, it's a great time right now to fix that posture with you guys all cranked over, looking like what's his name, Quasimodo. Is that Quasimodo or yeah, Quasimodo, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Fix that posture. Stay hydrated. Get a good sip of water. Get some hydration inside of you. Take care of yourself. Today's gonna be a badass day. Let's sit down and enjoy ourselves. Be grateful for everything we got. You know what I mean? Really easy to be pissed off and mad at the world or mad at others, mad at your situation, mad at your financial plans, your partner, your boss, your kids. I don't know. Somebody. It's very easy to be mad. I've said this before. That's the easy choice, you know what I mean? To be mad at people all the time. And you just got to be a lot more thankful, I feel like, and grateful for what you got going on in your life, even the smallest wins possible. I know a lot of people probably already feel this way too, but it's really easy to fall into like a dark pit of negativity if you're just kind of drowning yourself in it, and almost, I guess for lack of a better term, just kind of saying like feeling sorry for yourself, and that's easy to do. I do it all the time. Again, I say all these things, guys, like as if I know what the fuck I'm doing or I know what it is I'm talking about, but I I am also a terrible actor in all of these things that I say not to do. Or activist? I don't actor. Anyways, what I'm saying is just be grateful for majority of everything there is you have. You have 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs. You're fucking golden. You got a lot more than a lot of people. Not maybe not majority of people. I don't know. What's the percentage? What percentage of people don't have all their appendages? I'm my own Jamie today, so we're looking that up. Let's see. If you had to guess right now, what percent of people don't have all their appendages? All right, if you have to guess right now, I want you guys to guess in your head. Say it out loud. What do you think? What percent of people don't have either an arm, a leg, right? We'll say even a hand or a foot. I'm gonna say before I look at this, I'm probably gonna say 8%. I feel like that's kind of high. all their appendages, limbs. I'm gonna say limbs first. Ah, fuck. I was terribly off. One in every 60 per people. So 1.6% of the population lives with some type of limb loss or limb difference. But that's a whole limb. What about like hand? Hands or feet? What's That's 0.5%. So damn, how even less? Either way, be grateful. Not everybody has all that shit. If you have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 hands, 10 fingers, 2 ears, 2 eyes, you're marching along. You're doing good. Only 4%, 4.3% of the world has no health complications. That's pretty crazy. Only 4.3% of the world has no health complications. So majority of people are fucked up. If you feel like you're out there and you don't have that means almost everybody listening to this right now has some type of complication wrong with them, whether you know it or not. That's pretty fucked up. God damn, that's terrible. 50% of the world do or will have some type of mental health disorder of some kind. Is like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, like, is that a mental disorder? I'd assume so, right? Like a brain disorder, the same way like CTE and stuff like that is. Obviously, I don't have like Alzheimer's, but I really think like I got a bad memory to where it should be looked into. It used to be funny to where I would always, oh yeah, I just can't remember shit. Haha, it's funny, whatever. But I swear to God, I can't remember anything. It's terrible. I can never remember anything. I feel like people use it against me too. Jacinda uses it against me where she's like, "Oh, you don't remember I told you this?" And she could easily tell me that she told me something when she didn't and just use that against me. I swear, cuz and in the end I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." And she just beats me to it. She uses my mental health disorder against me. What's the next one? 44% of the world lives in poverty on less than $6.85 a day. I heard somewhere one time that if you make, I want to say it was like $35,000 a year, $35,000 a year, that you are richer than like 90% of the population. Don't quote me. Again, this is all probably bullshit. That's pretty nuts. That means like your average high schooler in America working at McDonald's is richer than like 90% of the population. If that quote or that statistic that I'm remembering is correct. I'm not going to look that one up. We're going to say that that one's a Joel fact. That one's the fact of the day. So, everybody wants to talk about how broke they are. I'm broke too, but you're low-key balling. Everybody's balling in the eyes of majority of the world. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough, guys. What else we got going on? New Year. New Year 2026. Nothing crazy. I feel like, for the most part, I'm always kind of stuck in thinking about like finances and stuff, you know? I think majority of probably people listening to this might have that always on their mind. And it's hard not to, you know? It's hard not to be stuck in like, okay, well, living paycheck to paycheck, or hey, can I afford this thing that's coming up for so and so's birthday, or gifts for Christmas. Like fuck, Christmas especially, guys. Like stuff gets expensive. And don't get me wrong, it's still like they say, like, oh, most wonderful time of the year. It really is. Definitely more when you get snow though. Ain't there's not any fucking snow these days. I saw like I saw a clip or something on Twitter that was saying like, oh, these kids all the time talking about, oh, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. I want to be a teacher when I grow up. Brother, it's 75 degrees fucking Christmas week. You're not growing up. We're done. We're cooked, brother. I don't know what it is, but it's getting hot, and it's staying hot out there. No snow, no white Christmas. It, I don't know where we're going. I don't even know how the fuck I got onto this. What was I saying? Oh, Christmas time. Whether it's financially, if it's a good time to kind of be pondering on all your finances. And again, that's, I feel like, what everybody's kind of always thinking of, sadly. But no, I've been good. Kind of still trying to get into health shit for the most part. And I definitely am priority on the backside of that. Not as hard as I used to be, which is fine. I guess it's not just as consistent as it once was. And majority of people probably reach that slump. I feel like I just get bored of the same shit over and over and over. And again, I've said this before on this podcast, but like doing the same split every week at the gym gets annoying, gets boring. You want to do stuff like other things, you know what I mean? And I bet there's a lot of people listening who feel the same way. Maybe they love it. That's awesome. If you can maybe switch it up as often as you can, kind of do different stuff, focus on maybe less strength, more mobility, more flexibility, more body composition. I don't know. Just a better way to kind of stay interested in what you're doing for any type of exercise. So be it. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been lately, is just like the gym almost doesn't seem intriguing to me anymore. Whereas before it was like always thinking of like, oh, how do I get to the gym and put up more weight and bench more and squat more and fuck yeah, like go with like a gym buddy or something, and you're always working out together, and like the idea of the gym is sick in that perspective, but after a while I think it's the same shit over and over again. So that's why you want like different types of exercise. That's why when I was running, dope, awesome. I mean, no, it wasn't. It fucking sucked, to be honest. But it was new. It was something different. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess that's kind of what I've been on. What else am I on lately? Still reading these Daily Stoics. Let's read today's. Let's read today's Daily Stoic. Again, Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Basically a daily entry to read talking about what is the main goal and a good idea and perspective to keep in mind basically throughout the day. So, the month of January is clarity. We're focusing on clarity, mental clarity, all throughout the month. I know, again, this is going to sound really hippy-dippy, but I swear this shit's pretty cool when you really look into it. So, January 5th, clarify your intentions. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. Law 29 of the 48 Laws of Power is plan all the way to the end. Robert Greene writes that by planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. The second habit in the 7 habits of highly effective people, I'm assuming these are, or I don't know that second one. I'm assuming it's a book, but 48 Laws of Power, I feel like it's pretty common. People know that. But anyways, second habit in the 7 habits of highly effective people is begin with an end in mind. Having an end in mind is no guarantee that you'll ever reach it. No Stoic would tolerate that assumption, but not having an end in mind is a guarantee that you won't. The Stoics say false conceptions are responsible not just for the disturbances in the soul, but for the chaotic and dysfunctional lives and operations. When your efforts are not directed at a cause or a purpose, how will you know what to do day in and day out? How will you know what to say no to and what to say yes to? How will you know when you've had enough, when you've reached your goal, when you've gotten off track, if you've ever defined what those things are? If you've never defined what those things are, sorry. The answer is that you cannot. So you were driven into failure, or worse, into madness by the oblivion of directionlessness. So yeah, kind of just, what's your goal? What's your goal in life? I think if you can, not in life, because that's kind of like a main goal, but like with everything you do, try and think, what's the goal here? What is this achieving? You know, and if that goal is, hey, like today I'm going to be better in what? You know what I mean? Today I want to gain flexibility. Okay, well, what do you need to do that? Obviously, you're not gonna fucking get flexible and do a split overnight, but today I want to push towards gaining flexibility in your legs, your hips, whatever it may be. Okay, so how do we do that? How do I what actions do I need to take to achieve these goals? And yeah, I guess achieve. It's hard to kind of measure that specifically, but that's when you start looking at your actions as, are these helping or hurting my goals? So if you can keep a goal and an end in mind for all of your goals, that makes it a lot easier to have a direction and be more self-aware and more accountable for everything that you're doing day to day. So if I'm saying, again, I know I just said the flexibility thing, but okay, write out your idea of, hey, today I need an end. I want my house to be clean. Okay, well, then when you're sitting on the couch eating fucking Cheetos, is that helping or hurting the goal? You know what I mean? And that's when you can kind of base every action based on your end and your goal. I don't know. Maybe you guys might have a different perspective on this. I guess I'm kind of ranting on what my perspective on what this is saying. But yeah, let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. Exactly. So if you have a false conception of what it is you're going on through with all your actions, then it's going to fuck you up for sure. And it's fine to have goals that really don't have much work that are needed towards them. But at least as long as you're honest with yourself in that regard, as long as you can tell yourself like, oh, I don't mind. I don't have to be working hard at this or that, or I don't have to clean up this or that because that's not my goal, is to be clean. Yes, you should. I think you should. But if just be honest with yourself. Because there's plenty of people who say, oh, well, my goal is by the end of the month, I want to lose 10 pounds and I want to add 50 pounds to my squat. I want to fit into a medium shirt, whatever it may be. If those are really your goals, cool, work towards them. Do what you have to do to work towards those goals. But be honest with yourself also. How badly do you want? Are these goals or are they just dreams? Like, are you going to make steps towards these or not? Because if you're not, then it's just a dream that no one's working towards, and that's why dreams aren't reality. So if you can be honest with yourself and say, hey, yeah, I want a six-pack. How bad do I want it? Not that bad at all. Cool, that's fine. So then, yeah, fuck it. Eat the McDonald's. Eat whatever the fuck you want. And again, this isn't me shitting on anybody, because this isn't me saying this as if, like, I'm the most goal-driven person. I'm lazy as fuck. There's plenty of times where I've told myself, hey, I want to do this. I want to run a mile in under blank amount of time, whatever. It's like, okay, how badly do I want to do it? Not really that badly. And so then I don't feel as bad, I guess, when I'm not working towards that. And I think that's where some people fuck up, is if they're telling themselves, I want to shed 10 pounds by summer or whatever. And then they almost come like more depressed and like full of anxiety and like thoughts of like failure if if they don't reach that goal of missing or losing the 10 pounds, but they weren't doing anything to work towards it the entirety of the spring or the winter, you know? But if you can just be honest with yourself and say like, no, I don't really give a fuck about doing that, then it's probably a lot more peaceful. Just be honest with yourself. That's fine. Fuck it. Be lazy. Who cares? If you want to be lazy. Cool. But as long as you're honest with yourself, because that will make you a lot more comfortable in your daily mind. Like, in your own head, you'll be a lot happier knowing that you're not letting yourself down, I guess. You let yourself down is when you're kind of unhappy. Everybody has that like voice inside them, where you're just there's that voice that's telling you like, "Oh, get up, go do what you need to do. Go I don't know. Go pay those bills, go wash your car, go to the gym, whatever." Like there's a voice holding you accountable and telling you to do more things. And then also there's the voice that's telling you like, dude, fuck that. Fuck that bill. Fuck the gym. Who cares about the car? It's fine. Let's just sit on the couch and scroll TikTok. That's easy. You just got to decide which one you want to give into more. And don't be mad at yourself later if you chose that second voice. Be happy, I guess, with your decisions. As long as you're not fucking over anybody else, though, you know what I mean? It's different. I say that's cool. Do these things. Be lazy, but not if you're like a mom or a dad and you're just deciding, fuck them kids. I'm not gonna go take them to school today. I'm not gonna make them dinner. Like that's different. That's different shit. But as long as you're not harming nobody else and you take care of what you need to take care of, that is in any way harming or hurting others, so be it. Fuck it. Do what you want to do. Yeah, I don't even know why I got on that, but that's that's kind of my thought process. Be happy with the decisions you make. And if you're not happy with the decisions you're making, change them. Change your decisions. Nothing will change if nothing changes. No results are going to be a different result from what you're currently doing if you're not doing the right things. You know what I mean? But that's fine. If you're fine with the results you're getting, cool. If you're fine with being late on every payment and why the fuck is this always about finances? With gaining 50 pounds and having a trashed house and all these things. If you're fine with it, then fuck it, do it. Or I guess don't do it. Don't do anything. As long as you're happier with it that way, so be it. I don't think you should, but if that's not my call to make to anybody listening to this. Now I'm making this seem like I'm kind of telling people, yeah, fuck them kids. I'm not going to work. I'm not nothing. No, you should be the best version of yourself, but you don't have to. It's cool if you don't. You know what I mean? Quick turn of events right here. So I was thinking about this. I've talked to a lot of people about this before in the past too, but everybody always talks about, can you separate the art from the artist? And I don't think I've ever covered this on this podcast. And I think this is a good topic and discussion that I've heard a lot of people go through, and completely different perspectives for sure on whether or not you can. Can you separate the art from the artist? Obviously, people always think about like really famous artists and like good music, and then someone who makes really good music, and then they're a domestic abuser, or they're a murderer, or whatever their shortcomings may be. You kind of consider it bad, whatever they are doing bad, right? Now, can you listen to this person? Obviously, if it's like, I don't know, I'm not trying to like specify anybody, but like all the allegations that like come through like Michael Jackson and shit, people separate the art from the artist plenty. Whether or not any of it's proven, I don't know. I don't know how that case turned out. But yeah, like people will definitely still listen to like Michael Jackson music, knowing all of the allegations and stuff that came with him of like sexual assault and shit like that. And they'll just be like, fuck it. You ever heard Beat It? That song is a banger. And it is. It is a banger. And that's why I think you can. I can separate the art from the artist. So this is an example I gave to a buddy of mine one time too. Like, let's say you were reading a book, okay, and it's a self-help book. It's some type of like philosophy book or whatever, and it's giving you great tips. And it's telling you how to manage your life, how to be happier, how to make more friends, how to please more people, how to be happier with yourself, how to All of these things. Make positive adjustments to every relationship you have with yourself and with others. And then you find out the author was a serial killer, a child serial killer, try to make it worse. Do you immediately throw out all these tips that he just gave you? Do you just throw them all out of the window? Because let's say he murdered all these children or whatever before he wrote the book and then got caught or something. Can you separate the art from the artist there? Do you throw out every tip you got from the serial killer? My first thought is no. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's just because he was this one thing. I'm not trying to defend a serial child murderer in my head, the one that I just made up. I'm not trying to defend him, but what I'm saying is it doesn't mean he doesn't have good thoughts and good ideas to him. You know what I mean? Plenty of people have. You know how many people, when you look through history, people were assholes. People sucked. Most people sucked. Not all, most. But you think about it and you talk, I don't know, some great invention. We talk about like the light bulb. It's okay, whether or not you want to give Thomas Edison the credit for inventing the light bulb. Electricity, Benjamin Franklin, whoever it was. I don't know. Nikola Tesla, I don't know. Anyways, we're just going to say Thomas Edison light bulb, okay? Great invention, changed humanity overall. And then, you find out, turns out Thomas Edison beat his wife, was a piece of shit, abandoned his children. Do you just not use a light bulb? No, you still use a fucking light bulb. You find out Nike or Apple is using child slavery across the ocean or across the country, across the world. Across the world, using child slavery and basically like slave labor to create your iPhone or the Nikes on your feet. Do you stop wearing Nikes? Some people probably do, but majority of people don't. They're oblivious and they just like, nah, fuck it, who cares? This iPhone's nice. I like the iPhone. Cool. Just again, be happy with your decisions. Don't be hypocritical about it and say, "Oh, I hate slavery. I hate child labor," and then wear Nikes. Allegedly, Nike, don't sue me. You know what I mean? How did I even get back on this? Holy shit. Where did I start from on this? Oh, separating the art from the artist. Yeah, I'm still going to read it. I'm still going to read that book from the serial killer if I know that it's a great self-help book. Someone says, "Hey, here's a badass album of music." Turns out they were the worst type of criminal you could think of. Blank. Insert whatever crime that you believe is the worst possible into your head right there. Are you still going to listen to that album? Let's say it was your favorite album. You loved this song. Some people probably won't. And to them, cool. That's awesome. You don't have to. Most people are probably going to still put that shit on the aux. They're going to listen to the music whenever they feel like they want time to listen to it and be completely disregarding of whatever crime that this person committed. And that's fine. Fuck it. I think you can separate the art from the artist. I don't know who says you can't, honestly. Like, no art from any artist? You're telling me you're going to be an American and basically live in a country that was founded by the founding fathers who were, don't get me wrong, great businessmen, brave, starting this country on their own, whatever it is. Also, slave owners, also adulterers, also dickheads. You're just not going to live in this country because of them? You're not going to use a light bulb because of Thomas Edison? You're not going to wear Nikes? You're not going to use an iPhone? Dude, anything. Think of anything. Think of any invention. I bet you that guy was a piece of shit. or girl. That maybe I don't know. I think I hold girls to a higher standard. Like I don't think less of girls, like historical women, as much. But I don't know. The inventor of a television. I don't know who it was. I have no clue who invented the television. I bet you he was a piece of shit. I bet you he was an asshole. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I think you can separate the art from the artist for sure. All right, let's get into my favorite. Let's get into my favorite segment of this podcast, UFC talk. Here we go. All right, guys. Starting UFC out 2026, UFC 324. Paddy Pimblett versus Gaethje. I've already gone through a lot of these cards. UFC 325 being Volkanovski versus Lopez. Same. Gone through these cards. But what I want to do, honestly, is I want to make some predictions so we can listen back at the end of 2026 and see how wrong I was. Some predictions that are going to happen. 2026, not just champions, not fight outcomes and stuff like that, but like overall, what are some expectations and predictions that I have that will happen in the year? First off, I'll go through who I believe is going to be champion in each division by the end of the year. Flyweight, 125. Currently, champion Joshua Van. Say what you want about the way he was crowned as champion. To be honest, initially, I also was kind of critical of it, thinking like, oh, like, you're not the real champion, blah, blah, blah. But no, he earned it. He earned the title. It beat Pantoja fair and square. People want to say, no, it wasn't fair and square. Pantoja's arm just gave out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Dude, Pantoja's arm only gave out because of the way that Joshua Van picked his ass up. That doesn't happen just standing there. It's not like it just happened on its own. The same way, the only way that's going to happen is if Joshua Van picks him up like that by catching the kick. So yes, Joshua Van is the champion. Give the man his credit. But who's the champion by the end of the year? I probably say it's Pantoja again. With all that being said, I bet Pantoja gets the title back. Whether he fights Joshua Van for it next, I don't know, because based on injuries, the injury that he sustained, I doubt Joshua Van's first title defense is Pantoja. I bet you they give him someone else first, probably Tatsuro Taira. Yeah, but even if Tatsuro Taira goes and fights Van, let's say Tatsuro Taira gets the title off of Van, or Van beats Taira, the winner of that probably faces Pantoja. Pantoja gets it back. Defends again against who, I don't know, but I'm going to predict by the end of 2026, Joshua Van is the flyweight champ. Or not Joshua Van. Alexander Pantoja is the champion. Bantamweight. Who is the champion by the end of the year? This one's tough. And I want to say Peter Yan for sure, but I'm not positive. I really think Bantamweight has so many crazy good athletes in it. It's definitely one of the best divisions right now. So it's hard to tell. The performance that Peter Yan put on Merab is insane. Everybody talks about Merab as the machine. Literally, the guy could not lose. It's insane, and I was one of them. I was in that podcast before the last UFC 323. I was the first one to say Merab should be the biggest favorite here. Or no, I think I said Pantoja should be. Either way, I was just saying Merab could not lose. And Peter Yan put on the craziest performance and whooped his ass for majority of that fight, if not every second of it. So it's hard to not say Peter Yan is champion again by the end of the year. And again, this is like recency bias too, because when I really think about it, I don't know how many times the titles will change hands throughout this entirety of all the weight classes. But Peter Yan probably fights Umar for the title next, I'm assuming. Assuming Umar gets past Figueiredo, which I think should be a pretty easy win right there for him. No such thing as an easy win in the UFC, obviously, but I would bet Peter Yan kind of chills for a little bit, waits to find out the winner of Figueiredo and Umar, and then it might even be decided by winner of O'Malley and Song Yadong. If I had to guess, Peter Yan probably fights Umar next for the title, and man, I there's a chance Umar. I don't know. No, I don't. I think Peter Yan beats him. I'm gonna stick with this one. I think Peter Yan champion by the end of 2026. Moving on. Alexander Volkanovski at featherweight. I don't know. I want to stay bought in on the hype on Volk because obviously the dude's still the champion after so long. This guy's been running this division for the craziest amount of time. With his booking now to fight Diego Lopez here at the end of this month, a lot of people immediately are going to assume, like, okay, Volk just walks through Lopez. Kind of like I guess he didn't walk through him, but kind of like he did in their first fight, in their first showing. But Diego's last fight was Volk. Or no, I'm sorry. Volk's last fight was Diego. Right? Yeah, that's correct. So I think you're gonna see a better Diego in this next showing. And for the most part, I I don't know how much better Diego's gonna be in two fights. Well, I guess one since their last fight to make that jump to beating Volk. He's gonna have to take a lot more shots. Stop scratching his neck all the time throughout every single fight. I'm just fucking with him, but still, I I want to say Volk is still champion by end of 2026. I'm not positive. I Lerone Murphy maybe, but does Lerone beat Volk? Lerone was honestly getting tuned up by Aaron Pico before he wasn't and smoked him, put him out cold. But that's a whole different fighting style. I don't think Volk is going to push the pace as crazily on Lerone Murphy and be a lot more calculative in that approach. If you had to say, though, Movzar, I don't think fucking Movzar fights again. I really think Movzar Evlov is probably cut from the UFC this year. Or leaves the UFC somehow on some Zabit shit. I don't know what that dude's doing. Diego Lopez fights for the title again. I want to say Volk wins it. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't, but by the end of the year, I'm gonna go Diego. I don't know how. I think Diego might lose to Volk, or he might beat Volk. But I'm gonna say Diego loses to Volk, and then Volk probably retires. Maybe another defense in there somewhere, but he probably retires this year, and then the vacant title is fought by Diego and somebody. Aljo, maybe? Yair? I don't know. But we're just going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say Diego Lopez is champion of the featherweight division by the end of 2026. Lightweight. Current champion Ilya Taporia. Current title fight being booked, interim title fight, or being scheduled, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Who wins that? I don't know. I know everybody wants to talk about like Paddy's gonna whoop Justin's ass, and like, oh, he's faster, more calculative, better grappling approach. Where really, I don't know if that's even fair to say. Justin has great grappling in his arsenal. It's just he just doesn't use it. You know what I mean? He uses it for his takedown defense for sure, but never offensively. At the end of the day, it's the same kind of thing that Dan Hooker was saying. Like, yeah, you could be faster, you could be younger, you could have a better fight IQ, but this is a fist fight, brother. And you never count Justin Gaethje out of a fist fight. So, interim champion there. Who knows whether it's Justin or Paddy? Is Ilya back by the end of 2026 to defend his title there and face the winner of that interim fight? I'd assume so. I hope so. The dude's been out for a while now. If I had to guess, though, Arman Sarukian, probably champion of the lightweight division by the end of 2026. How? I don't know. Does he beat Ilya for it? Does he beat the winner of Justin and Patty for it if Ilya completely vacates? I don't know. I don't know where that goes. I don't know. I don't know. Max and Charles even? Max might be champ there. I don't know. I'm going to say Arman just to be safe. These are my guesses. Arman is champion of the lightweight division by end of 2026. Welterweight. Islam Makhachev champion by end of 2026. How many defenses does he have this year? Probably 2. He probably defends against probably Michael Morales, and I don't even know who he would probably fight this year. I think that's probably the next title shot they're going to give him, is either Ian Gary, Morales, one of those two. I think he beats both of them, and he's probably champion still by the end of the year. Kamaru Usman, people were talking about. They want to give him Kamaru Usman. I get it, thinking like just based on everything Kamaru's done in his career, but I don't know if you're eligible for a title shot. And I love Kamaru Usman, but I don't know if you're eligible for a title shot coming off of 3 losses and 1 win against number 10 ranked Joaquin Buckley. I think you're a lot better off going with Michael Morales or Ian Gary. It might be Ian Gary, but yeah, still I think Islam beats him. Islam's still champion by end of 2026. Middleweight, it's Hamzat. Hamzat is still champion by the end of the year. Based honestly off of just like the ability to like handle the grappling that Hamzat has, I don't think there's really anybody in that middleweight division that might be able to match that and or defend it. So who knows how that goes? Maybe Fluffy gets up there. Is Fluffy booked against Sean Strickland? Let me see. That's booked, right? Yes, it is. February 21st. Fluffy versus Strickland. Sick. Fluffy, I think, can get past Strickland. It's not an easy task based on like the performances we've seen out of Strickland lately. I think Fluffy gets done in comparison to what Fluffy has been showing lately. But if the winner of that gets a title shot, do either of them fight Hamzat? I don't think so. I mean, Imavov might even get the title shot next, but does he get past Hamzat? I don't think so. Brennan Allen may be coming up for a title shot too, based off of that schooling of DeRitter. But does he get past Hamzat? I don't think so. Hamzat probably champion by end of the year. Plus, the dude's probably only going to defend once. He doesn't fight that often. Light heavyweight. Alex Pereira. Dude, I swear, I know we've seen it twice already. I want to see Yuri versus Alex again. And I know everybody's going to be like, oh, he's already KO'd him twice. Like, why do you need to see that? Dude, I know. The build up to that, the face-offs, it's sick. And you can't say Yuri doesn't crack him sometimes. And Yuri looks good as shit. The way he's whooping on Khalil Roundtree, putting hands on Jamal Hill. It's sick to see. How do you not like this guy? If Alex Pereira wasn't the champion, if Alex Pereira didn't exist, Yuri Prochazka is one of the greatest right now in light heavyweight. It's the same thing as like Alexander Gustafsson back in the day. If there was no John Jones or DC, Gustafsson is one of the GOATs in light heavyweight. But yeah, I'd say Alex Pereira is probably still champion by the end of the year. That's tough though. Carlos Olberg coming up just slept Dominic Reyes pretty bad. Olberg, I was doubtful of the guy, but he's coming up there. He's putting some wins together for sure, and he's looking good. You don't think he's had Pereira on his mind for quite some time now? Magomed Ankalaev is out of the picture, I think. Based on that showing, I doubt they give him a rematch anytime soon. Yuri's winning. He's beating everybody not named Alex Pereira. Literally. Does Yuri get another title shot? And if he does he beat Alex? I don't know. There's a chance, but it's fuck. The guy's awkward and as long he gets caught, the same way Pereira is there to catch him. I don't know, dude. If Yuri faces Pereira in like a trilogy fight, obviously it's like it'd be hard to sell that because it's someone you've already KO'd twice. But if he could, that'd be insane. And then to beat Alex, the quadrilogy would come after that. Oh, dude, that if Yuri faces Alex next or ever again, I'm rooting for Yuri just because I want him to win, and then we would see the fourth match. It's basically gonna be that Max versus Volk at light heavyweight. It's the same thing. The guy's beating everybody not named Volk. How do you not give him another title shot? Referring in reference to Max. But yeah, probably not. If I had to guess, Pereira is probably still the champion. And I know, like I said in the beginning of all of this, I bet not that many titles change hands this year. And you can tell, kind of, based on all my guesses. Tom Aspinall is probably still the champ at the end of the year, though. Again, heavyweight is slim pickings. Cyril Gane's good, but everybody wants to say, "Oh, Tom saw a way out. He was trying to get out of there. He wanted to quit that fight." Blah blah blah. Like, dude, no, he wasn't. People said the same thing when Tom Aspinall fought Curtis Blades the first time, and like he was like missing. Curtis Blades was missing shots, and then like would land like a nice little like right hand or a jab or something, and then Tom Aspinall like blows out his knee, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, good thing that happened because Curtis Blades was gonna whoop his ass. He was whooping his ass." Dude, I'm telling you, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane gets rebooked, probably middle of the year sometime. If Tom Aspinall's eye is good, who knows? And he whoops Cyril Gane's ass. Tom Aspinall champion by the end of 2026. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so quick rundown. Sorry, I'm just doing the males. I don't know how many of you were interested in my guesses on females, but I'm wrong there terribly. I don't watch. I'm not as heavily invested. Sorry. Flyweight, Pantoja probably the champion again by the end of the year. Bantamweight, I think I said Peter Yan still. Yeah, I said Peter Yan. If not Umar, that one's like a close second. Honorable mention to Umar. Featherweight, Diego Lopez probably champion by the end of the year. I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat in that one. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going Diego Lopez. Lightweight, I'm going Arman Sarukian. Does he have to beat Ilya to get to it? Does he have to beat Justin Gaethje? If he has to beat Ilya, probably not. Maybe actually. He might bring out some good wrestling in there. I don't know. But how he does it, I can't tell you. Don't ask me. Arman Sarukian, champion at lightweight by the end of the year. Maybe Max Holloway too. We'll throw Max in there. With all due respect to Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Welterweight stays with Islam. Middleweight stays with Hamzat. Light heavyweight stays with Pereira. Praying for Yuri Prohaska, but probably stays with Pereira. And Tom Aspinall probably fights middle of the year after his whole IA situation and whoops Cyril Gane's ass. Probably fights like Volkov again or something. Whoops his ass and is champion by the end of the year. So, those are my predictions. I'm hoping I'm correct. Replay this. Someone set an alarm to go off at midnight, January 1st, 2027. Tell me how I did. I hope I'm all right. But yeah, those are my guesses. And that's what we're on right now, guys. I think that's gonna wrap up my UFC talk for right now. But that's about it. Again, new year, new me. On to being the best person I can be. Some days I'm being a piece of shit, and that's fine. I enjoy those days. I hope you guys all enjoy those days every once in a while. But get after it too. Get off your ass. Get to work. Do some tough shit. Do something very hard that humbles you and reminds you that you're still a bitch. I feel like that's the best way to keep moving in life. Keep your posture cranked up. Got you again, motherfucker. You probably just sat up all straight. Keep your posture up. Stay hydrated. Drink some damn water. Be nice to people. Have an end goal in mind. And keep that end in mind with everything you do throughout your day. I don't care if you're walking 10 steps. If you walked 0 steps yesterday, you're doing laps around that pussy that you were yesterday. 1% better every day. 1%, boys and girls. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. On to 2026. I should do a best of episode for 2025. It'll just be a bunch of dumb arguments and dumb ideas that I have of jokes that didn't land and stupid ideas and bucket list items and shit that I'm interested in that no one really gives a shit about. But I think it'd be interesting. I'm not going to do it, but best of 2026 is coming soon. At the end of this year, I'm going to put out a best of 2026 episode. And hopefully all my predictions for the UFC is on it. Because I was fucking straight through, all correct. We'll see. Either way, thank you guys again for listening. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you don't even use YouTube, just subscribe. Helps me get some more viewers there. If you listen on just YouTube, subscribe on Spotify. Give me some love on Instagram. Like the posts. Follow, comment, review. All those things that you should be doing. Again, straighten up your posture. Drink some water. Be nice to yourself and others. And make 2026 your bitch. We're out.